I felt particularly drawn to a presence in the southeast during the pentagram rite. Then, following the verses, I saw a little bit more green and yellow in the phosphenes, and a sense of power built up. And eventually, this became a moving layer, a rippling layer of yellow and green spots, or however you describe that, of colors. And then my face left an indentation in it, then my body, and then this anesthetic feeling washed over me. And I'm left feeling a touch throbby. One thing that is very important with magical practice is that when you develop understanding of how to work the spiritual systems, this stuff is meant for the benefit of others. The almudel and the crystal and the dark mirror and other such things probably do work best together. They certainly work individually, but the Church of Hermetic Sciences, or Ordo Templi Astartes system, is meant to be a balance and meant to develop a different set of techniques and experiences in an individual. And once we have certain experiences, we can understand the psychological side of some of what were called miracles. And there can be a spiritual side as well. A spiritual side that can't be witnessed. Some of the psychological effects can't be replicated in our movies and all that sort of stuff. The angels are as messengers, and the things that people consider gods and goddesses tend to be metaphorical or metanomial or whatever projections in how they appear to us. That's why some things are not so clear. But we can think of the different devices as referring to reflecting of ourself and radiating around something. And if you practice scrying and various other methods, some of these things can happen without the devices, but the devices can certainly make some of these experiences easier. I myself, when I chant certain verses, if I do it long enough, I will see the colors. I will feel things. And I can't say I'm ever going to experience anything other than sensual, emotional, psychiatric phenomena that can affect visualization. But there's more to it as well. Just as it was stated previously, in a more atheistic way. I guess Aleister Crowley changed it in one of his other versions of the Goetia. But either way, you involve parts of your mind. So therefore, you can kind of have the parts of your mind interact with each other, right? And also, you can have this development, the knowledge and conversation with the holy guardian angel and whatever else you want to call it, without these psychological highs, you could say, without direct knowledge of the spiritual worlds. There are different versions of the sigils, and the origin story doesn't quite matter as much as the context. Some magicians certainly have been constructing symbols for probably into prehistory. Sometimes entities taught them symbols. But how it is the context that you put it in, the beliefs and intentions that you put with them. The wax candle holder square thing that a crystal or a showstone is put on for the angelic work. Well, they have put more understandable names in their version, and its operation, again, just like the dark mirrors on the stands of a particular height, it's also put on a particular height to make the viewing of it easier. And the more colorful experiences with the dark mirror, the more detailed and that sort of stuff, is, well, you're closer to it than, some little crystal stone that you're trying to focus on in more of a distance. So it's larger in your view. And I totally agree with them in that you don't call up what you're going to banish afterwards. You build up your spiritual experience in your temple. And the beings, well, the jinn certainly have their own free will. The light beings, well, they do as they're ultimately commanded by divinity.